Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod and Play Season 1 revamped on BossRushGames.com. I'm Corey, and joining me, as always, in this revamped edition of Pod and Play is that retro code Eddie V.
Hello, everybody.
Now, I know a lot of you who have been following us are like, what do you mean it's Season 1? Well, let me give you some details here. We're revamping the show a little bit. It's still going to be the same show, but we're revamping it a little bit. And since we're part of a new network, a new group, a new thing, as they say, we want to start fresh. So, this is the revamped Season 1 of Pod and Play. Pod and Play HD, if you will. Pod and Play Plus. Pod and Play Super Pod and Play.
Pod and Play DX.
Yeah. Super Ultra Pod and Play Championship Edition Turbo Edition.
Maximum.
Yeah.
Maximum edition.
Special edition of Pod and Play. The physical edition comes with sweatpants that say maximum on them.
Okay, I like that.
Oh man, Ed, I'm excited to bring back Pod and Play. I know, yes, this is season 1 of our revamped show, but Ed and I have actually done 4 seasons of this show previously, and you will be seeing classic episodes of Pod and Play pop up here and there, but Pod and Play is going to be our seasonal Let's Play show where Ed and I, and of course Jesse and Ray on episodes that they want to be a part of, we will all sit and talk about the games that we're playing. As you can see, we're about to play Devil May Cry 5, which came out in 2019. It's a continuation of the original Devil May Cry series, so it kind of boots the DMC remake from Ninja Theory, which was a fantastic game. We actually did you'll probably see a classic Pod and Play episode pop up of that as well. But we're kicking it off with Devil May Cry 5. Ed, you've played a lot of this game. I have not played it, so I'm going to go ahead and start this new game. So what do you think of Devil May Cry 5?
Okay, so it's way better than Devil May Cry 4. You kind of can see a little of influence of DMC Devil May Cry in this game. It's very simple, like fighting wise. So it's combo heavy, but not too combo heavy where it gets out of control. The only time it gets like that is when you get into Dante. The story is okay. Like, the story is there, and you kind of learn what's going on and everything. Somehow you meet a character named V, and you meet this mysterious monster who takes off your main character's arm off. And from Devil May Cry 4, when I say I want to say it's Nina, it's not that. And then you go from there. They do show actually what happens, like, after you beat like the first level of the game, not the prologue, but like the actual first mission. They showed you in the cutscene how everything really jumped off. So what you're probably seeing, if you're not watching the cutscene, if you're watching the actual prologue, you're kind of at a certain point in the game that I won't really won't like say, because you do get to this part in the game, but you kind of go through how the story starts to a certain point and then how the game ends. So it's kind of like in 3 acts. You use 3 characters in this game, with V being the newest character, and his gameplay is different from everybody. So you control a bird and a panther, or a cat kind of thing, and you kind of gotta do certain moves to destroy them, and then when they turn a certain way, um, you have to hit them with you have to hit them with that a certain way to kill them and everything. So,
I'm gonna switch up my controls here because I feel like, let's see, gun attack. We're gonna go right trigger. Jump is a melee attack. Lock on. We're gonna go left trigger. Unused will be X, I guess. There. All right. That seems all right to me.
yeah. So for those who play DLC 4, some of the things are still there.
I
It's
just want to
just
say how amazing this game looks, by the way.
yes,
Holy cow.
yeah, it's running on the Resident Evil 7 engine. So those who have played Resident Evil 7 and uh, those who have played the remake, um, it's part of that engine there.
I really want to see Bayonetta in this engine. Because I've been itching to play that game too. Although, as of this recording, Tokyo Mirage Sessions just came out, so I probably won't get to Bayonetta right away. But
I don't think Bayonetta needs to be in this engine because,
I do. I think it looks fantastic.
and I think that's going to be the one problem with some of Capcom's later games is that it's going to look good, but they're not utilizing the space in it.
Oh, but it looks so good. This game looks so good. Actually, I want the DMC the Ninja Theory one in this engine. It looks so good, dude. This game, it looks... No wonder people were saying this is one of the best looking games on the system. I'm playing on Xbox One X, by the way, everybody who's paying attention. So, but yeah, I mean, I can you? This is running at 60 frames a second on Xbox One X, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like it just seems a little choppy to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, the thing about Devil May Cry 5 is that the environments looks wonderful. Artistically, it looks beautiful. It really, really looks good. It has a distinct feel to it. But it's more of a like an Instagram filter applied to it in a sense when you look at it. But like it would look. I think it would look really good on Series X if they upgrade some of it or enhance it. But it's very detailed. Like I said, artistically, it's very detailed. It looks very next gen.
I mean, I just think that RE engine is just a really pretty engine. Like, regardless, you know. Like, I think Monster Hunter looks great. I think Resident Evil 2 looks great, and I think this looks great. Which, man, let's talk about Capcom for a little bit on this resurgence they've been having the last 4 years. I want to say
about 3 years.
Because it started with Resident Evil 7, and then Monster Hunter, and then Mega Man 11, then Resident Evil 2, and now Resident Evil 3 remake seems to be heading that same direction as well. And then this, like, there's a lot going on with them, and they are just really having. I feel like they're having fun again making games, right? Like they're kind of opening up their franchises and really taking on projects that they feel like they can really pull off with this engine too.
Well, it's more like Capcom had to evolve with their franchises. They couldn't rely on the old stuff that they used to make some of their games and everything. So, you know, this had to really change from Devil May Cry 4. Monster Hunter kind of been doing the same thing for years, definitely on Nintendo consoles, which really made them profitable, which really made them money. But Monster Hunter World is such a bigger grand game that they had to change that whole thing up. So it still has some things that you can remember, but they changed a lot of it up with it, and you can see it if you're new to the series or if you're familiar with the series. You'll get to see Resident Evil 7. They could, because of the somewhat success of Resident Evil 6 and how the reactions went with that, they knew that what they was using with Resident Evil 4 wasn't working anymore, and they was heading into a new direction. So yeah, Resident Evil 7, they had to change up everything. No more zombies, no more action flick kind of gameplay. They had to really make it a survival horror. Had to kind of go to its roots, but put it in a perspective that would really make it terrifying. Definitely if you played on PSVR. You know, so
What am I supposed to do with this boss?
you just fight him. Once
Well,
you lose out the energy, something will happen. It's meant for you not to beat.
oh, I'm not supposed to beat him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, but you can still attack him and everything. Like, still try to look like that you're fighting him.
oh,
Um,
okay. Well,
and so I think Capcom had to rise up, to be like. And I really won't say much about Resident Evil 2 because that's going to be for later. But they kind of cut down some of the fat of the original version and kind of reimagine the edited version of that game, I should say. Not saying it's bad. Resident Evil 2 is really good. It really is good. But if you kind of play Resident Evil 2, you kind of get a sense of what Resident Evil Remake is, but bigger, grandier with its production, and more intense than the first one. I mean, than the original. So, yeah, Capcom definitely has been on a roll and everything. I think right now, though, they kind of just feel like, yes, we are relying on games that will make us money, but most of those games are like sequels of existing properties. And the sad thing about it is that Capcom can't or won't take a risk on new IPs. Because I think with new IPs, definitely in this time of gaming, new IPs are more welcoming to Switch than they are for other platforms. And if they really want to do something big and grander for bigger platforms, they know they got to get the pre-orders, they got to get the collector's edition, they got to really get support from a lot of gamers, because they want to see returns on the content that they bring out. But yeah, that might seem that I'm saying a lot, but yeah, Capcom, they've been doing good. And like you said, Corey, they feel like they got their mojo back to what the video games that they made back in the day. and really gave them their name, Capcom.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, after whatever that Street Fighter V debacle was, and
Mhm.
Marvel vs. Capcom, the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom,
Oh, Infinite.
Infinite, yeah. I feel like they really turned it around after that because they needed to. There was a long time where we thought, they were going to go out of business or be sold, or they sell off IP, or you know what I mean, because their games weren't selling, or their games were not good. It was kind of sad to watch Capcom kind of be in that position, and then we get a lot of great games in the last couple of years from them that really feel like they took their time and kind of took franchises that people loved and changed them a little bit, or kind of rebooted in a sense with Monster Hunter, or you know what I mean. They really feel like they took the time and kind of listened and
Not so much listen. Well, yeah, listen. I think what happened with the problem is that Capcom tried to appeal to America, and it wasn't working out well.
I mean, I would argue
They
they're aiming more towards Western audiences now with Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. Those
well,
are you can't tell me they didn't westernize Monster Hunter or Resident Evil 2.
Monster Hunter they didn't really recognize because
They
Monster
they
Hunter,
did though. That's
but Monster Hunter,
why it's
but
so
that's the thing.
popular.
But Monster Hunter has been a niche and small community back on the PlayStation um, system. Monster Hunter really didn't get big until they actually came to Nintendo consoles and to the handheld. And once Japan and once America started recognizing it and enjoying those games, it started to become a big hit here in America because it was on the Nintendo platform. More people recognized Monster Hunter on Nintendo. When Monster Hunter actually came to PlayStation in America, didn't nobody touch it. Nobody knew what it was. It was big in Japan, but it wasn't big here. And so since Monster Hunter had a success on Nintendo's console here in America, it kind of represented what that game was here in America compared to Japan. Um, when our Monster Hunter World, of course, they was just like, in order for us to really take this to the next level, we can't put it on the Nintendo console. We got to put it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and we got to we have big ideas, and it's with an online system from those two companies, which Nintendo doesn't have. We can really expand and grow the franchise more and more, and it grabbed more people. So now that Japan and America is on, and Europe even is on, and Canada, want to include the people up in Canada too. Just around the world, it has been a really big hit. It's sold a lot of copies, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I would argue that even putting Monster Hunter on PC was the biggest thing for them.
Yeah, and there's been Monster Hunter on PC, but only in Japan.
Yeah, but I mean, when they put Monster Hunter World on PC, that was
Yes.
a lot of people were excited when they released that on PC, and
Yes.
that's a game that I would really like to get back to at some point, and I do plan on it. It's part of my backlog challenge, and plus, our Sunday Night Arsenal streams will probably involve a lot of Monster Hunter at some point. So
I hope if I do get some Sundays off, because I have Monster Hunter on PlayStation 4 and on Xbox One, and I'm a little bit further in it. So doing these hunts with a group, I really want to try. I've only did most of the hunts by myself and stuff.
yeah,
And it's a lot to learn. But if you reach out to the Monster Hunter community, they will help you and walk you through some things and teach you things. And it's very good. There's a lot of great videos about Monster Hunter. that you can learn and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I want like Monster Hunter seems like if I wasn't like podcasting and trying to keep up with stuff, Monster Hunter would be in the rotation of games that I just play all the time. But that was like the big reason why I stopped playing it was because like I just didn't have the time and I didn't want to fall into that trap where I only played that game for like a year and a half like I did for Destiny. So yeah, I don't know. I want to get back into Monster Hunter, and I think we're gonna do an episode on Monster Hunter this season.
Yes, we are.
So
yes, we definitely are. I cannot wait. Because I just wanna I really wanna play the game co-op and kind of learn how to play this game with multiple people and stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So now that we're kind of in the Capcom kind of train here, like let's talk a little bit about Devil May Cry for a little bit. The first Devil May Cry game I played was Devil May Cry 4 when it came to Xbox 360. That's where I played it. I never finished it because I didn't really care for it. To be honest, I just wasn't into those types of games at the time. But then I played a lot of DMC to the point where I got almost all the achievements on that game. In that game for 360, I think I almost platinumed it on PlayStation 3, and then my PlayStation 3 died, and then I went back and redid all of it on Xbox 360. That's how much I loved that game, and then I ended up getting it again on Xbox One, the definitive edition. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that I really love DMC a lot, the Ninja Theory game. For those who remember.
So. I started DMC on PlayStation 2, so I actually started from the original one. Really enjoyed it.
Fun fact: DMC 1 started as Resident Evil 4. Fun fact.
Was it Resident Evil 4?
It started as Resident Evil 4. Yeah, that's why it's kind of slower paced and more puzzle based than the rest of them.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I don't know why I was thinking of 2, but I was reason why 2 came in my mind is because they had to redo 2, I think also 4 times for that game, or 2 times I think. I know they had to redo 2 for a bit. Yeah, so I started with 2. I mean, it started with 1. Played that all the way through. That game is long, like 22 some chapters. And that was Hideki Kamiya's like debut of a gang of, doing the action style games and everything. And then after that, DLC 2, which I didn't have a problem with. I thought that one was fine. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm like, to me personally, DLC 2 is better than DLC 4 all the way. I never got to play 3 because I ended up getting my GameCube and my PlayStation 2 pretty much came like an RPG system. It's definitely Okami was like was the best thing that I thought came out of Capcom in the PlayStation 2 days. Resident Evil 4 on GameCube also. But
really getting the hang of this new toy.
In Reading for Joe. But
I keep I've been playing a lot of Switch lately, and I keep pressing B instead of A.
Yeah. So I know definitely for me, now that not Capcom 3, Devil May Cry 3 is coming to place Nintendo Switch, I'll finally be able to play 3. Because they had to do 2 versions. The original 3 was super hard and everything. And then I tried Devil May Cry 4. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Played Devil May Cry, DLC Devil May Cry after everybody was complaining about it, and I was just like, I'm gonna give this game a fair chance. And boy, did Ninja! And when I found out that Ninja Theory was doing, I was just like, okay, because I had just got done playing Journey to the one they did for Bando Nekai, Enslaved Journey,
Odyssey
Odyssey
to
to
the
the
West.
West. Yeah, playing that, and I was just like, oh, I love Ninja Theory. Heavenly Sword was okay, which I need to return back to if I ever get a chance. When I hook my PlayStation 3 up.
I mean, I know it won't happen now that Ninja Theory is owned by Microsoft, but I would like to see a return to Heavenly Sword. I always thought like that franchise was really interesting, and I really like that first game because it kind of felt like where am I going here? It just kind of felt like an evolution of like what God of War was trying to do, but like cleaner, a little bit cleaner and a little bit more precise. And I know my biggest gripe with it is that there was no jump button. You couldn't jump. That was like a big thing. But I think the levels were designed well enough to where like you wouldn't even need a jump button. Now I play games all the time where there's no jump button. Like Assassin's Creed doesn't have a jump button.
Well, isn't it crazy that
What a lovely house.
Heavenly Sword didn't have no jumping in it, but also you couldn't adjust the controller to block
You what?
for Heavenly Sword. In order for you to block, you couldn't touch anything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Who brought
Yep.
the marshmallows?
Oh. I mean, maybe I did at the time, but it's been, what? I got my PlayStation 3 in 2007, so 12 years since I played it. That was the first game I got, so.
Yeah, DMC Devil May Cry. I love even though you had to configure the buttons to it. It was more fast-paced action, and it was a balance between Ninja Gaiden. I'm gonna say Ninja Gaiden Black. Just in case for those who.
Backwards compatible on Xbox One, by the way.
Yes. Well, no, Ninja Gaiden is, but not Ninja Gaiden Black. Ninja Gaiden
No,
Black
Black is. Black is. The original Xbox game is backwards compatible.
There's 2 of them though.
I know, but there's Ninja Gaiden
Black-
and then there's Ninja Gaiden Black. Black is backwards compatible.
Did they bring Black to PlayStation, or is it just
That's Sigma.
that's
Ninja Gaiden
sick
Sigma, which I think is just an HD version of Black.
for PlayStation? The Sigma
Yeah.
ones are for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Black is for Xbox. Okay, yeah. Ninja Gaiden Black, because I played that one. It was a mixture of that and Bayonetta, where of course stuff was combo heavy, and you really brought your moves and everything. It was more fluid as an action game, and it has probably one of the best Devil May Cry stories. Artwork is literally off the chain. Like, it still looks beautiful today.
Why do I feel like your pet mechanic? Don't get used to it.
Nico, I showed
Yeah,
you.
Ninja Gaiden was one of those series I never got into. I mean, I had them on NES, but that was like the extent
Right
of
there. Hey,
my Ninja Gaiden playing.
Oh, save it.
So,
Not.
Which is fine.
I mean, it's just I don't know. I always heard it was really hard, and I'm terrified of playing hard games because I'm not good at games. So,
For which one?
all of them.
Oh, the Ninja Gaiden series.
Yeah.
you need
they're hard. They're hard due to the fact of some of the control and the camera work. Like it's a little, well, it's pretty much
Well, you're in
wonky.
luck, pal, 'cause
Um,
food's
and if
ready.
you can't deal
Nobody
with
always makes too
this
much.
the
You know
control
I pack
and
extras too, 'cause
I mean, a lot of people say it's difficult and because they take off so much energy with the enemies. Uh, it's more reaction, um, and camera based with that game.
demon.
Like if you literally could deal with that or overcome it and learn it, the game is not too hard. It's the precursor in a way to the Souls game, to the Dark Souls game. If you want to think about that, or Demon Souls, I should say. Um, Due to the fact that you just got enemies coming out of nowhere, bad camera, uh, and not all the controls um, register when you do the inputs in them. So
Whoa, that was pretty gruesome.
uh,
It's a little gross. Guess I had to show off that Resident Evil engine somehow in this game. He's got his arm ripped off.
oh yeah,
He's waiting for us up ahead. Try not to get us.
that's the way for them to implicate the new mechanic in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Ooh, what's happening? Ooh, look at that. S rank in my second mission. All right. I was actually kind of surprised that they went back to this with Devil May Cry. Honestly, like but also part of me wonders if that had something to do with.
That's it.
And I know this game was in development way before that, but like a part of me always wondered if Microsoft knew they were buying Ninja Theory, and Ninja Theory knew that they weren't going to be doing it.
No, it was the sales and the sales and the reactions to DLC Devil May Cry. They
No.
didn't meet expectations, so that's
No,
why
I know. Part of me always just wondered if like maybe Ninja Theory knew they weren't ever going to work on Devil May Cry again. And I mean, I know that's why Hellblade came out, and that's why they're working on new stuff for Microsoft now. But you know,
Um,
Hey, I got a new arm.
probably. That one was more of a Capcom decision. I think because they weren't making a lot of money back due to other projects that they had, like Dark Void, you know, and Bionic Commando remake that they did. Like they were losing a lot of money on stuff like that, and so so
yeah, okay. Let's see what else could we talk about before we get out of here.
um so during the time I would say where Capcom wasn't making that much money or anything, um they decided to put some things on Nintendo in a sense. And surprisingly, when Capcom started to do that, um, they started seeing a lot of money come like back in. So even while past the GameCube days, the Wii U days, and even the Wii, um, the power of the 3DS kind of was keeping Capcom afloat for a while. When Monster Hunter 4 actually came to it, and that was the year I think Fire Emblem Awakening came out that year also. Uh, uh, People were like going off in droves, and um, they were kind of surprised. Definitely how Capcom was like surprising that you know what they could do with a Nintendo platform, and why are people recognizing Capcom more for the Nintendo stuff than anything else. uh, there was just something about the 3DS that, even though they didn't really have to put much money, or even not saying effort, but they didn't have to really put much money in their games, and the returns on those games were like really, really strong and everything. So, it kind of there was a point in time where there was a rumor that Capcom might be selling, some of their games, or someone might actually buy Capcom. And at that time, people were wondering, well, who should buy Capcom? And the first thing people were saying was Nintendo. Um,
Well, I think that too. I think they were talking about that too because, like, they saw Nintendo's showing love to Mega Man and Smash, right? Like, I think that was a big reason, because just the love and care they showed Mega Man and Smash, and like, if he looked and felt a lot like Mega Man, how they wanted Mega Man to feel, like reminiscent of the NES stuff, and I think when Capcom was down, I think that just I honestly think that had a lot to do with the Nintendo should buy Capcom
yeah,
sort of thing. So just for that simple fact alone, and I know there's other reasons too, but I feel like Capcom kind of feels at home on Nintendo in a lot of ways, even though they're not really there a whole lot anymore with their new stuff, but I do think that would have been a good fit. Although we wouldn't have gotten we probably wouldn't have gotten this or the Resident Evil 2 remake if they did.
right.
I mean, we would have gotten a version of that, but not like, you know what I mean.
All right, and we really didn't know if they really were in trouble, because at the time Capcom kept releasing ports of their old games. Um, and I guess as many as they put on, a lot of it was always a Resident Evil game and stuff, and so it was a.
I mean, those Resident Evil games are decent though. Like, I still actually really like Resident Evil 5 and 6 to a lesser extent, but like, I still don't think those are bad games. I just think they don't feel like Resident Evil games. Like the horror elements and stuff. They just feel like fun co-op action games is what they feel like.
Yes.
But like, everything Capcom has done on Switch, I've got like the Mega Man collections and the Resident Evil stuff, and Monster Hunter Generations. Like, I ended up getting, which I didn't really care for that game, but I still got it because I'm still thinking that this year we're going to get a Monster Hunter Switch game that's just for Switch, because Monster Hunter World is so good, right? And I know they said that they were going to, like, the portability of Monster Hunter is what made that game popular, especially in Japan, right? So I think they would be silly not to try at least to make a Monster Hunter for Switch, even if it's not as robust as World, but I still think it would be worth trying.
Yes.
So, and I would be more interested in giving Monster Hunter more time if it was portable, because I've talked about it a lot on our shows and stuff, that Switch is like my lifestyle with a kid and a wife, and I don't get much time on the TV. Switch has made gaming a lot easier.
Yeah.
Where do I go? Where is the door? Did I miss the door?
Are you in the hotel room?
Yeah.
Hotel?
I'm in the hotel.
Oh.
What, did I miss the door? Oh, it's right here. Wow. So, I mean, I would like to see them do something with Monster Hunter, or something to that effect on Switch. But why do all of our conversations always come back to Nintendo, even when we're not like supposed to be talking about Nintendo?
Because Capcom is connected to Nintendo, not because of because of the past and a little bit of the present, but it made a household name for the company. And when they got away from Nintendo and they were putting games on PlayStation and Microsoft, they really thought most of their product will appease to America. Because on how big games in America was selling. So they kind of lost their way, and it looked like when they actually put something on a Nintendo platform, even though it's not big or anything. Like if you look at Wii, and the one with the little boy ringing the bell, and I can't think of it. It's so well and decent, and people remember, we just like, this is the Capcom that I remember making that Japanese style game that doesn't feel American, or doesn't feel like it's all about guns and stuff like that, or cover based shooting. It feels unique and different, and like that's what some of the fans who really supported Capcom grew up with. And so Nintendo has been like, and still to this very day, is a big thing for Capcom. So I think that's why pretty much a lot of our, that may seem weird that our conversations always go back to Nintendo. Definitely with Capcom, they just have a big history and have most of their games in recognition from Nintendo. We really can't connect Capcom to Microsoft or Sony. People could try if they want to, but you won't remember from a lot of the games that they put on those platforms. Like, can we really have a discussion about a game like Remember Me or anything like that? Yeah, we had the Bionic Commando, but that game was on the Nintendo platform. So if we try to talk about that, the Nintendo version is going to always come up first. How do you have a conversation about Capcom without bringing up Nintendo?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I really like what Capcom's doing, and I really hope that this resurgence keeps going. I think DMC5, from what I'm playing right now, this is the first time I'm playing DMC5, by the way. I really like it. It feels a lot like they took what made that Ninja Theory game great and merged it with some of the stuff that worked in 4, and really made it just, I think it feels really good.
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen the outcome of DMC in a sequel, but nonetheless, I think that the gameplay in this game is really fun. I like the character designs a lot. I'm still like, I remember the big complaint about 4 was like you weren't playing as Dante the whole time, right?
Yes.
And I wonder why they made the choice to come back to mixing up the characters. I know it has
the level design was kind of poor, and they needed something to make the game longer.
No, I mean this game in particular. I wonder why they chose to go back to that.
I think they wanted to give the bigger story by coming from 3 perspectives. And so in order to do that, they pretty much had to break it up like that. I guess they kind of wanted to change up the gameplay, and the gameplay is so limited that doing all the stuff just with Nero, that's what it is. I'm sorry, Brady. Doing playing the other stuff with Nero is not very expansive. Like you don't really have a huge um um ability arsenal and ability to work with them. So going with Dante because he's more experienced and has used more weapons in games. Uh, it they just decided to go that route using
I mean, I personally don't mind. I think I do think that it's weird that like people want a Dante and you still don't play as him through like halfway through the game.
yeah.
But I like the way these characters seem to interact, and I know a lot of people seem to not care as much in this game as they did in 4. But you know, it's a great game. I just by playing it, like I really think it feels fluid, and I hope that not to bring it back to Nintendo again, but I really hope that what Platinum is doing with Bayonetta 3 really takes some notes from this and kind of just like and not like make a clone or anything, but just takes a couple notes, like I don't know, remapping buttons or just little things like that, quality of life things. I think held Bayonetta 2 back a little bit for me was not being able to switch your buttons around, because I like to have them a certain way, and I feel like that this game does that well,
I think with Bayonetta 2 for me is that because it's so combo heavy and it feels so good and you worked on the timing and stuff, I probably didn't have that problem because of like working on it, getting stuff time and just trying to remember what combos will work for me, and just like adapting to what the game is offering me. So I didn't really have that many problems, and definitely with the weapon selections that I had, switching it up and everything, I knew what kind of combos I could get out of that. But I do agree with you. Like, if you having the option to change your button layout, because the Bayonetta 2 had the DLC Devil May Cry level button layout, that game wouldn't be in the 9s or 10s. It'd be like, "Ooh, I need to change this quickly." So yeah.
All right. Well, I want to wrap this up by saying, Devil May Cry 5 is available on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. It's also available on Xbox Game Pass, so if you have Xbox Game Pass, you have the game. It's really fun if you like stylus action stuff. It's got a lot of cool accessibility things with it too, and I really think that this game deserves a look, even if you haven't played the other ones. I feel like the gameplay is enough to really, set it apart and really let you have some fun in this crazy world that they've built. So,
yes.
Any final thoughts on Devil May Cry, Ed, before we get out of here?
I believe that it earned all the rewards and nominations that it got. And I'm glad that people did get to play it. It was really smart on Capcom to let there be a demo out for people to get their hands on it, and that demo sold on a lot of people wanted to buy this game.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see more stuff from Capcom. I do kind of wonder whatever happened to that PlayStation 4 game that they showed that never came out.
Oh, Deep Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gone. I'm gonna throw that out there and say that game's not coming out. So
I wonder if that was probably one of the RE engines. I wonder if they was playing around with that, or was all of that cutscene.
I don't know. So
But yeah, I can't wait to see more from Capcom.
yeah, I can't either. So I'm excited for their future. I'm excited to play this, and I'm gonna play Resident Evil 2 and 3 this year. They're on my list of games. I'm not a big horror fan, but I do plan on playing those this year. So, anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, you can catch this first revamped season of Pod and Play every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. 10 episodes in, we are going to have 10 episodes this season, and the next 10 weeks are going to be full of Pod and Play. And in between each season, I think we're planning on doing 3 seasons this year. In between each season of Pod and Play, I'm going to throw up the classic episodes. So if you want to catch those will also come out on Saturdays at 10 a.m. after this first season is done. They will be marked separately. They will have different thumbnails, so you will know that they are classic episodes. But nonetheless, classic episodes will be coming back, as well as 2 more seasons this year. Each season will be 10 episodes long. And Ed, this was quite the way to get this season kicked off.
Yes,
with
it
DMC
was.
5. We've got a lot of cool games this season for you. Really excited to share with you what we think of games that span all generations and all consoles. So, I want to remind you guys to download the Boss Rush podcast, our flagship podcast, Nintendo Pow Block, which is our Nintendo show, and check out our other YouTube content and Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast, coming soon to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and other podcast apps, as well as YouTube. And check out all of our content on bossrushgames.com. I want to thank everybody for watching. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody.